Division has just cost Seth Rollins his King of the Ring first round match. And the next week on Monday Night Raw, Braun Breaker says, Seth, I told you once that I will keep coming after you. I'm going to destroy you. And this will not be over until Braun Breaker says it's over. But since you want to continue to make this difficult, I will. Seth Rollins with the shield chair right to the back of Braun Breaker, and Rollins tosses the chair right at Breaker, but he dodges it and he nails a spear, cutting Rollins in half. Rollins' plan backfired tonight against the new leader of the Division in Braun Breaker, and he says, I will be here to destroy you every step of the way. No matter how many times you try to outsmart me, you will always get speared and stopped by the future. And Braun Breaker continues the beat down on Seth freaking Rollins, and as he calls for Seth to get back to his feet because he's gonna line him up for a spear, or so he thought. Because the quick distraction and Montez Ford, the man who's had Seth's back ever since Angelo got taken out, as Austin Theory is quick on the spot though, but Montez Ford would fire back against Theory, and this would allow Rollins the chance to get up, make it back to his feet, and he charges right at Breaker, and he starts to take off and teed off against Breaker, sending him into the corner and just delivering those stomps and stomping away. It's an all-out brawl between these four men, Rollins, Breaker, Ford, and Theory, as Rollins would mount Breaker and start delivering those punches, and as back in the area of the crowd, Montez Ford will lift up Theory and he power bombs him, crashing them through a table, and he's fired up, and this prompts General Manager Adam Pearce to come out and make a tag team match official for Night of Champions, Seth freaking Rollins and Montez Ford versus the Vision for the tag team titles. And it's an epic showdown between Rollins, Ford, and the Vision. And it seems as Rollins and Ford are working in tandem offense as if it was Angelo Dawkins and Ford in the Street Profits, but the Vision is also firing back because they will also deliver their tag team action, showing what they can bring to the table and why they are the tag team champions, as they will deliver the double shoulder tackle, taking out Ford, and it starts mounting and beating down Ford is Austin Theory, but eventually Rollins and Ford will bring out that tag team offense again and start taking out and firing on all cylinders here, and Rollins would deliver something extraordinary as he would deliver that Top Gun high-low over the top, taking down Theory, but eventually the tables will turn as Braun Breaker is in control against Rollins, and he's pulling off and firing off on all cylinders, as well as he takes him down with that 23 miles per hour Steiner clothesline that takes down the Visionary. But eventually Montez Ford and Theory would get distracted as they would take their brawl out of the arena and leave the match and forget about it. And this leaves a one-on-one situation between Braun Breaker and Rollins, the future versus the past, as you could say, teacher versus student, one-on-one with Rollins and Breaker, as Breaker tries to deliver that Frankensteiner again. Rollins pushes him, but is caught off guard by Maxine Dupree. Maxine Dupree has been seen talking to Theory backstage in the segments, and she allows Braun Breaker to connect the spear to Rollins, but he isn't done as he takes down the straps, goes into the corner, calls for Rollins to get to his feet, nails a second spear, and gets the tag team titles retained for him in Theory. And it seems like the Vision is more powerful, more dominant, and more stronger than ever, as Braun Breaker the next week on Raw has something to get off his chest. I told you, Seth. You think you're so smart. You think you're the architect, the visionary. You think you can see everything. You think you can predict everything, but you're really not. The Vision is one step ahead of you, and that's how it always has been. That's why you didn't expect that spear on October 13th in Perth, Australia. Because I was ahead of you then, and I'm ahead of you now. And there's nothing you could do about Ford and Rollins are here, and they're here with equalizers as they would take 2 steel chairs to the heads of Austin Theory and Braun Breaker, and they would take them out and neutralize them and clear the ring before Montez Ford takes his chance and issues a challenge for a one-on-one match at Saturday Night's main event against Austin Theory. But as Ford goes into this match with Austin Theory, he better be prepared for some shenanigans, because you know that's exactly what happens when anybody of the Vision is in a match. It's always ruined by shenanigans. But a heinous battle between Ford and Austin Theory would go down as they would start trading blows and throwing those right hands at each other, those haymakers. But it comes to an alternate collision eventually, and Ford would be the one showing out most of this match, delivering that Top Gun high-low, and he was fired up, and he was not going to let Austin Theory get the win. But Austin Theory will also show out as well with that slingshot dropkick. But eventually Ford will get back in control as Maxine Dupree looks on, not proud of how the match is going. But eventually Ford will nail that blockbuster as the tables return, and this is when he has Theory in position for that frog splash. But just then Maxine Dupree hurries around and she gets on the apron and causes a distraction for Montez Ford, and this allows Theory to make it back to his feet, take Ford down off the top rope, set him up in position, calls for him, and nail a stomp to Montez Ford into the cover to pick up the win. But just as he does, he's nailed in the back with a shield chair courtesy of Seth freaking Rollins, and Maxine Dupree doesn't know what to do as she scrambles out of the ring, and Rollins continues the assault. But just then Braun Breaker comes out of nowhere, hits the ropes, and nails a spear to Rollins once again. Rollins did not expect it. He was not prepared. The Vision was one step ahead again, and Braun Breaker says, "You think you're smarter, Seth. I keep telling you that the Vision runs Monday Night Raw now, and it might be time for you to lace up those boots, because like I said last time, you can't handle the weight of the strap on your shoulder anymore. And this is the Vision show, so we're gonna keep taking you out until you are gone from this business." And that right there is the best possible vision for the future. The Vision had a plan B tonight, and it was executed to perfection. But next week on Raw, Rollins is pacing back and forth, and he calls out the Vision. But are they going to show up is the question. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and I am the handsome oracle of the Vision. No, Paul. We don't want to hear what you have to say. We don't want to hear you run your mouth. The Vision needs to come out here right now. Seth, I'm sorry to inform you, but Braun Breaker is not here in the building tonight. However, someone else who's got a bone to pick with you is. And I pulled this one out of your playbook, Seth. You always have to have a plan B. Rollins was ready as he turns around and tosses the chair at Big Bronson Reed's head. Big Bronson Reed is back, and Rollins starts unloading those right hands on him, and it turns into an all-out brawl between Rollins and Reed as they would go blow for blow against each other. Big Bronson Reed was back. Rollins was not expecting it, but he was ready. But as Reed gets him in, he looks to nail a tsunami, but Rollins gets out of the way and gets back to his feet, grabs the chair as quick as he can, and tosses it at the head of Big Bronson Reed, which takes them down off the top. And Rollins is now trying to take out the big man because Braun Breaker isn't here, so he'll settle for Big Bronson Reed. And meanwhile, Montez Ford has Theory neutralized backstage, and as Rollins would try to take out Reed, Reed plants him with a power slam and follows it up with a big senton before herring up to the top. and nailing an absolutely devastating tsunami, crushing Rollins, and he issues a challenge later tonight against Rollins in a one-on-one match. And as you'd expect, it's a banger between Reed and Rollins as Reed nails that power slam, delivers that jumping elbow, and follows it up with a running senton against the Visionary. And Bronson Reed has proven to Rollins that he's not just a lackey from the Vision. He was an important and key part of the OG Vision with Rollins in charge. And as Reed shows off, eventually Rollins will try to nail a suicide dive, but it's intercepted by Reed with a right hand, and he rushes to the top and nails a thunder tsunami crashing down on the back of Rollins. And he goes up top for a second one, or so he thought, because Ford forces a disqualification as he shoves Reed off the top, and they get a little bit of payback, just like how Breakker and Theory did to Rollins. And for that Saturday night's main event, Rollins will nail a stomp, and Ford will follow it up with that frog splash. And it seems tonight Rollins and Ford have gotten the best of the Vision, and Rollins has an ultra plan up his sleeve, and we're about to find out what it is. The go-home show to SummerSlam as Rollins calls out Paul Heyman because he has something to say. Thank you for joining me on this fine evening, Paul, and I'm here to inform you and let you know that I created the Vision, and I will be the one to kill the Vision. And I know you're wondering, when will you try to do it, Seth freaking Rollins? Well, the answer to that is this Saturday night on SummerSlam Night 1. I will end the Vision when I take on Braun Breaker one-on-one once again for the final time inside Hell in a Cell. But not only that, if I lose, I'll hang up my boots and finally retire like Braun Breaker wants. But if he loses, I want your word that the Vision will die forever. Fine. Challenge accepted. You have my word. If Braun Breaker loses, the Vision will die forever and the group will disband. But if you lose, Seth, those boots are hung up and that shoulder's finally relieved from having to carry a championship on you ever again. But anyways, I love to keep chatting, but unfortunately for you, the Vision has other plans. What are you laughing at, Seth? You really think I didn't expect you to try to get the Vision out of me? I told you, Paul, you're never gonna be smart, because I think the Vision is busy with the Street Profits. Rollins has ordered the Street Profits to take out Theory and Bronson Reed with those chairs, and they're doing it in tandem offense, taking down Theory and Reed. And Paul Heyman is surprised as he says, "Okay, you got me there? Yeah, but like you said, you always have to have a plan B." Oh, Paul, you're such an amateur. Of course I have a plan B. Oh my goodness, the man Becky Lynch here pulls Maxine out of the ring, and now the fight is on between Becky and Maxine, and it seems like Rollins was one step ahead of Paul Heyman, like he always is. What's the matter, Paul, huh? Things aren't going to plan? Maybe you should have thought ahead, 2 steps ahead, because I'm always 2 steps ahead of you. Or so you think. Oh, an elbow by Rollins. Rollins was still ready for Breakker. No matter what, you can never outsmart the Architect, the Visionary, and Seth freaking Rollins. As he lines Breakker up for a stomp, Breakker dodges it again, and he cuts him in half with another spear. Braun Breakker is always one step ahead with that spear, and he says, I want to be responsible for the end of Seth freaking Rollins, and I will be after I beat you at SummerSlam. It's Rollins and Breakker inside the inferno known as Hell in a Cell, and it's just as you'd expect, with Braun Breakker and Rollins tearing each other to shreds. And as Breakker would try to nail that shield chair to the back of Rollins, Rollins would counter and get back in control, taking down the future in Braun Breakker and nailing a stomp to try to put him away. But that would only get a 2 count because this Braun Breakker is unmatched like any other version of himself. And as Rollins nails the Phoenix Splash, he meets knees and a spear for his troubles into the cover. But that also would get a 2 count as well because Rollins is on his A game also. And as Breakker would try to nail Rollins onto thumbtacks, Rollins would counter and plant him onto thumbtacks with a pedigree going through the face and stomach, abdomen area of Braun Breakker. And as Rollins calls for him to get back to his feet, he drives him into the thumbtacks again with a stomp. Once again, crawls into the cover and picks up the win. Rollins has just disbanded the Vision, and he not only proves that he is the only man that created the Vision, but he is the only man who can kill the Vision.